Taiwan gods and goddesses. Tudigong. Tudigong is one of the lowest ranked gods of the traditional Taiwanese pantheon, whose name can be translated as Earth Lord, and is also known as the village deity, or the god of the soil. He is the most ubiquitous and one of the most commonly worshipped gods in Taiwan. He is the approachable genius loci with access to the higher gods. He also plays various benevolent roles and is very accessible and very important to the Taiwanese people. He is a historical person, usually a hero, deified, and holds the position in the spirit world as the local embodiment or manifestation of the god Tudigong, and he is portrayed as an elderly man with a long white beard and a black or gold hat, and a red or yellow robe. He carries a wooden staff in his right hand and a golden ingot in the left. The god is worshipped as the deity of wealth and fortune. People also honor him in their homes to ward off evil spirits. Yue Lao. Yue Lao is a god of marriage and love in Chinese mythology. He appears as an old man under the moon, and he appears at night and unites with a silken cord all predestined couples, after which nothing can prevent their union. He is immortal, and is said to live either in the moon or in the obscure regions. During the Tang dynasty, there was a young man named Wei Gu. Once he was passing the city of Songcheng, where he saw an old man leaning on his pack reading a book in the moonlight. Amazed, Wei Gu walked up and asked what he was doing. The old man answered, "I am reading a book of marriage listing for who is going to marry whom. In my pack are red cords for tying the feet of husband and wife." When Wei Gu and the old man came together to a marketplace, they saw a blind old woman carrying a 3-year-old little girl in her arms. The old man said to Wei Gu, "This little girl will be your wife in the future." Wei Gu thought this was too strange to believe, and he ordered his servant to stab the girl with his knife. 14 years later, Wang Tai, the governor of Shangzhou, gave Wei Gu his daughter in marriage. He was having difficulty finding a suitable match of higher standing for his daughter. She had difficulty walking and had a large scar on the small of her back. When Wei Gu asked what had happened, he was told that she had been stabbed by a man in the marketplace 14 years before. After 10 years and 3 children later, Wei Gu sought the old man for suitable matches for his 2 younger sons and daughter. The old man refused to find suitors for his children. During the later years, Wei Gu sought to find a possible match for his children, but by coincidence, no marriage was put to work. Cheng Huangyi, or the city god, is an influential figure in Taoism, and an important figure within the hierarchy of deities, especially within Chinese folk religion. Worship of the city god is thought to have originated over 2,000 years ago, but is a religious tradition that has evolved over time with changes in political ideology. In addition to societal changes and the concept of a modern city or town, he is considered to be a protector deity. The city god acts as a liaison between the living and the supernatural, and plays an important role in assisting the earthly bureaucracy in making the right decisions, in addition to assisting governments in maintaining order. The function of the city god, whose name literally translates as the god of walls and moats, means city, means moat, was to act as a supernatural magistrate, who would make decisions about a city's governance, along with human colleagues. He was also responsible for acting as a judge for those citizens who lived within the borders of the city, in addition to working to keep it safe. The city god is always surrounded by his officials and protectors. He helped to oversee development of the city and its defense, and assist in solving issues for the citizens living within his jurisdiction, and more importantly, handing out judgment for those who have done wrong. His supernatural powers are divided up based on the area that he represents. The city god's official divisions are: national level city god, known formally as the Duke Xiang; state or provincial level city god, known formally as the Marquis of Xiang; and county or town level city god, known formally as the Earl of Xiang. The city god. In the main shrine of the temple, you'll find standing statues of 2 of the city god's most important officials: the civil judge and the martial judge. The civil judge carry a book of life and death in one hand, and a brush in the other. The function of the civil judge is to record both the good and bad deeds in one's life, and judge them accordingly when they pass away. The martial judge, who is responsible for the enforcement of the city god's judgments, holding a mace in his left hand, This judge is a much more opposing and serious-looking figure, as he is responsible for the scarier aspects of a city god's duties. You'll find 24 statues of the rest of the city god's spiritual assistants. In a contemporary sense, they are basically department heads or ministers of each of their respective bureaus. The Yin and Yang division, it is the general manager who assists the city god in supervising the two realms of Yin and Yang that are in charge of all the good and evil, merits and demerits of people in the human world, including arranging the birth and death dates, wealth, poverty and destinies of registered people and ghosts in the Book of Life and Death, coordinating various departments to work together to handle cases, and executing orders given by superiors. The Quick Reporting Department, in charge of the Ministry of War, the Ministry of Rights and the issuance of documents. His duty is to interrogate the souls of those who have died or died in vain, and to order them to report to the reporting unit. Gong Kao Si, responsible for recording the good deeds and deeds as evidence of blessings and wealth in this life or the next. The Merits and Demerits Department, responsible for recording the merits and demerits of the good and evil deeds of people, and reporting them to the city god for review as the basis for retribution for good and evil. The Blessing Department, responsible for performing the duties of blessing and longevity. All those who are loyal, good and filial to their brothers and sisters in the Yin and Yang realms, will be reviewed and determined by the city god, and handed over to this department to carry out the blessings that the virtuous person deserves in this life and the next life. The Plague Department, responsible for the task of bringing down plagues. If there is any failure to observe the rules, do not follow the right way, violate the laws of nature, and offend God, and God issues a decree to punish the plague. The Induction Department, in charge of the prayers of humans and ghosts in the Yin and Yang world. The Department of Punishing Evil, responsible for punishing evil. All crimes committed in the Yin and Yang realms will be executed by the department. The Performance Examination Department, supervises the Yin and Yang realm examinations, and is responsible for assessing the conduct of humans and ghosts, and the performance of various ministries and units in the underworld. The Merit Recording Department, responsible for the duties of commending generals in the Yin and Yang realms, humans, ghosts, and various ministries and units in the underworld. All persons and ghosts who have performed good deeds in the Yin and Yang world, and those who have meritorious service in various ministries and units will be rewarded. The Matters Arrival Department, responsible for managing all matters concerning the reporting of dead souls from the Yang realm to the underworld. Arrange for the souls of the deceased to report to the responsible unit. The Prison Department, responsible for the management of prisons at all levels. All souls who report to the underworld, regardless of whether they have been judged or not, must be kept in prison to await their fate. The Department of Appreciating Laws, responsible for the administration of legal documents after the city god judges those who are loyal, kind, filial, and abide by the ethics of the Yin and Yang world. The Inspection Department, responsible for day and night inspections of the Yin and Yang realms, observing the words and deeds of humans and ghosts. The Criminal Law Department, the unit that manages criminal law books and executes penalties. After the city god determines the evil spirit, the department will execute various criminal penalties. The Jiaoguo Department, responsible for inspecting the good and evil deeds of humans and ghosts, as a basis for rewards and punishments. This department is also the unit that praises good and rewards good, punishes rape and punishes evil. The Jilu Division, in charge of the good and evil records of humans and ghosts in the Yin and Yang world. When the city god examines the souls of the dead, he will reward and punish the souls according to the records, so that they will receive rewards for good and evil. The Leilu Division, responsible for the registration of people and ghosts from the Yin and Yang realms to the underworld. The name, place of birth, date of death and registration time of the deceased soul. The Alarm Department, responsible for warning and correcting illegal behavior in both the Yin and Yang realms, such as stealing, robbing, cheating, drug trafficking. Such as if someone fails to follow good advice or knowingly commits a crime, the department will report it to the relevant units for severe punishment, and promote the reincarnation and cause and effect of good and bad deeds. The Good Rewards Department, responsible for commending and rewarding those who have done good deeds and virtues in both the yin and yang realms. All persons and ghosts who have done good deeds. The treasurer, the person in charge of the underworld's finances. The Gaiyuan division, responsible for recording the birthplaces of humans and ghosts in the yin and yang realms. It also inspects the birth registration of reincarnated people and those who have disappeared in the world, and manages the souls reported to the underworld and arranges for them to return to their original household registration. The health department, responsible for managing the yin and yang health book. Anyone who has done good or evil in both the yin and yang worlds will be judged by the city god and handed over to the department to be judged according to the regulations. The person will be healthy physically and mentally, or be riddled with all kinds of diseases in this life or the next life. The Department of Population, responsible for the increase and decrease in population in the yin and yang realms.